All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about HIVE Blockchain, stock ticker HIVE. They are a Bitcoin mining company. They just put out their monthly operational update. Ethereum now is moved from proof of work to proof of stake. So that has a pretty dramatic impact on their company. They talk about it, so I want to talk about it. So if you're new, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot, and I really appreciate it. And for those who want to support the channel, you can hit the join button on YouTube and become a member of the channel. You get some members only content as well as once a week a members only live stream. If you're using Apple products, the join button might not show up, so you can just hit the link below. Okay, let's talk about HIVE. So the trading day just ended. They closed at $3.31, down 2.36%. So I don't think their monthly operational report had any impact on their price action today. This was kind of within the normal range of price action. Most of the Bitcoin miners were anywhere from down 2 or 3%. Some of them were up 2 or 3%, and everything in the middle. So this was fairly average performance. But what this leaves them is a $303 million market cap. So that is substantially off of their highs. We're going to look at the charts later. However, it is also off of their lows. So I want to show you right here on this. There's the 52-week range. They got down to $2.82. We're going to look at that. They got down to that back in June when all the other Bitcoin miners bottomed out. So this is one of the very few Bitcoin miners that did not retest its low. Even though their business model is changing, they're no longer going to be able to mine Ethereum. That apparently was all already built into the price of the stock because they have not revisited their lows. So I think this is over the last 100 days, they're the fourth best performing Bitcoin mining company. Now, most of the Bitcoin mining companies have performed very, very poorly. But they're up maybe 18 or 20% in that time frame, whereas the vast majority of Bitcoin miners actually took out their lows from this summer and they're hitting new lows. So for me, this was surprisingly strong performance from a stock standpoint. This has always been a company that's been excellent at execution, but I did worry that their stock was going to take a hit through this transition, but it's held up very well. Let's go to the monthly operational update and see what's actually going on. Okay, so you can see this is dated October 12th. This came out today. HIVE Blockchain provides a corporate update post-Ethereum merge September 2022 production update. Okay, so I'm just going to read you some of their summary overview here. Number one, HIVE has been pivoting its business as well as its digital asset treasury into a central focus on Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. So you'll see this over time. Their Bitcoin mining exahash rate continues to increase. The pure number of Bitcoin they mine continues to increase. Now, their Bitcoin equivalent, which is all of their Bitcoin they've mined plus the Ethereum they mined converted to a Bitcoin equivalent, that number is going to go down. So we'll talk about that more later. But they have made a pivot several months ago, actually all year, towards mining Bitcoin. They've made a deal for the Intel Bitcoin mining chips. So they're having custom machines built. HIVE's Bitcoin ASIC hash rate has grown over 200% since July of 2021 from 700 petahash to 2.3 exahash today. So that's a little over 1 year period. They have grown 200%. HIVE has over 1 exahash of Bitcoin ASIC projected growth in the next 3 to 4 months with scheduled deliveries. So that's going to get them from 2.3 exahash to 3.3 exahash. Basically, essentially, they're saying somewhere around the end of the year. Okay, historically, HIVE's Ethereum GPU mining was generating 3x to 4x more revenue per megawatt of capacity than ASIC Bitcoin miners. So this is why they stuck with mining Ethereum for as long as they did. They really stuck with it right until the bitter end because it was just so much more profitable. So they go on to say, since the merge, HIVE revenue from its GPU mining was dramatically reduced. For illustrative purposes, using ETH over US dollar values from nearly 7 Bitcoin per day down to 1.6 Bitcoin per day. So you can see all the GPUs that they had that were mining Ethereum, even if they're still mining, they're much, much, much less productive than they used to be. So that will impact their revenue on a monthly basis. However, like they said, they've already made a pivot in their purchase orders for new Bitcoin mining machines. So they will continue to add to their exahash in that way. Okay, this is their straight Bitcoin from their ASIC machines. They mined 268.9 Bitcoin from ASIC mining operations. They were at 2.28 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity at the end of September, with an average of 2.21 exahash during the month of September. That gave them an efficiency rate of 121.7 Bitcoin per exahash. So that is in line with what most of the other Bitcoin miners did that were operating at a higher level. So they've always been very competitive. Okay, so if we look at their totals for the month, including the Ethereum that they mined, so that brought them up to 396.3 Bitcoin equivalent produced in the month of September. And remember, it was 269 straight Bitcoin. So, another 130-ish Bitcoin equivalent, that is going to go to, some much lower number based on mining less profitable projects or to zero. So it's more going to be a straight Bitcoin number going forward. So I think we can expect this to reduce next month to something probably under 300. Okay, as of October 11th, Hive is producing an average of over 10 Bitcoin per day from its ASIC and GPU production. The company is expected to receive approximately 140 petahash of new generation microBT ASICs, primarily the M30S++ models, in the coming month. So they go on to say Hive expects total Bitcoin hash rate from ASICs and GPUs will be over 2.7 exahash by the end of October. Okay, I just want to quickly take a look at their balance sheet because this is one of the reasons I think their stock is holding on so strong, and it's a part of that HODL strategy that they've had. They have over 3,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet as of now. This is as of June 30th, which is the most recent financial information released. This is from their 10Q. So you can see they had over $90 million in current assets. And if we go and look down at current liabilities, it was only $29 million. So that's over a 3-to-1 current ratio. That's what we like to see. There are several of these Bitcoin miners that were close to 1-to-1 or under 1-to-1, meaning they had a liquidity problem, and they've been trying to address that. So this is not one of those companies. They are at 3-to-1, so that is very healthy. And then if you look at total assets, $319 million to total liabilities, $59 million. That is also extremely healthy. That's over a 5-to-1 ratio, assets to liabilities. So a very strong balance sheet, I think, is one of the reasons this stock has held on as strong as it has. Okay, so quickly before we look at their stock chart, let's just take a look at, this is Hive's Bitcoin mined by month. Now, remember, this is Bitcoin equivalent because for most of these months, they were also mining Ethereum. So you'll see with the exception of February, they were over 400 every single month all year. August was the best month they had all year. That was 519. Now that dropped over 100. That's down to 396, and that is likely to drop again in the month of October based on the fact that the difficulty level has increased significantly, and they did have a half a month of mining Ethereum in September, and they won't have that in October. So I'm expecting something around 300 Bitcoin in the month of October. So if we see a number somewhere in that range, I think that investors will be reasonably happy with that. And then obviously you see they have plans to grow their exahash over time, so that number should go up as time goes on. Okay, so if we look at Hive's charts, this is Hive on the 1-week chart. So this is just a big picture. I wanted to zoom out and show you in the big picture, Hive has acted much like all the other Bitcoin mining companies. You'll see in early November of 2021, they hit an all-time high. That's when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. That's when almost all of the Bitcoin miners hit their all-time high. But then obviously over the next many months, there was a gigantic pullback. So from the top to the bottom, and you can see for the bottom for them was somewhere in the middle of June. So that was also typical. That's approximately when Bitcoin hit its 2-year low of around 17,500. So as Bitcoin flash crashed down to that, most of the Bitcoin miners also hit their 2-year lows. So that was a total of an 88% pullback. That is actually better than average. So they have performed better than the average Bitcoin miner. I know that 88% pullback seems like a gigantic drop off in their stock, and it is. This entire industry, the Bitcoin mining industry, has been absolutely decimated to the point where this is one of the better performing stocks, and it's even down 88%. But I'm going to zoom in and show you it has not hit its lows. Okay, so this is Hive on the 1-day time frame. So you can see here was its low back on June 13th. So that was somewhere around $2.82. Currently, even with the rundown it's had, we've had 5 or 6 red days in a row. It's trading right now at $3.30. That is still very close to 15% off of its lows from this summer. And as I said, the majority of the Bitcoin miners have actually taken out their lows from the summer and set new lows. Some of them are 20 or 30 or 40% below their summer lows. So to be 15% above actually makes them one of the better performing companies. price from a stock standpoint. Obviously, a few things. It seems like the transition out of Ethereum has already been built into this stock price. So if there was going to be a hit, in my opinion, they long since would have taken this hit. You'll see tomorrow we have CPI data. In the short term, that's going to dictate all of the activity in all of the markets, certainly in the next 24 to 48 hours. So we'll definitely be looking for those CPI numbers to see what happens to Bitcoin, and as a function of that, what happens to Hive. So that's some super short-term stuff. So tomorrow and the next day could be extremely volatile days. That could be to the upside or the downside, depending on whether that CPI number comes in better than expected or worse than expected. Beyond that, if we want to look a little bit bigger picture, 30, 60, 90 days, Hive is very much tied to the performance of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been going sideways for the better part of a month now. So I don't want to give any price targets on this, but I will say I think there's some decent support here. There's about 15% to the downside for them to retest their lows. So to me, that sounds like their downside on this. If that CPI number comes in worse than expected and we have another push down in the market. So we've got that 15%, but they are almost 130% off of their highs from August 15th. So that was less than 2 months ago. So Bitcoin had a very nice rally in July and the first half of August. So all the Bitcoin miners ran up and hit a local high. If Hive was able to get back to that local high from August, and Bitcoin was trading at about $25,000, that would be a 130% increase in the price of their stock if they were able to do that. And to me, that's maybe some type of 90-day target, and that would dictate that Bitcoin has some type of relief rally in the meantime, back probably up to test that $25,000 price point. We need to see decent operating performance reports from Hive as we have all year. So we'll see if the adjustment away from Ethereum is already all built in or if there's some more pain to come. To me, it looks like the market has already absorbed that. So as always, remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not advising you to buy this stock or sell this stock. Please do your own due diligence. These are super highly volatile companies, all of the Bitcoin miners. So that's what I got for you today on Hive. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Thanks.